control the vertical.
Welcome to Anthologic, the TV anthology podcast. I am your host, Mark. Anthologic is a podcast dedicated to exploring the good, the bad, and the odd of horror, science fiction, and the best of mystery suspense anthology shows and series on TV. Join me as we slip through the cracks of reality to approach the extremes of experience, where we can peruse the stories and art of a sinister fairground of strange and wonderful rides. And now we go on to the show that is the focus of this particular episode. Welcome to this episode of Anthologic. We host Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Hey, right, okay, so we're in the middle of coronavirus. That time stamps this, don't we? So we're currently isolated. We're in a house together. But we're fine. It's working out fine, isn't it? We're watching a lot of Red Dwarf and stuff like that. So anyway, back to Anthology. We are covering episode 1 of season 2 of Night Gallery. So we've got through 6 episodes plus a pilot for season 1, and that went quite well. So this is a new one. This has a slightly different structure. It actually had 4 stories instead of 2. 2 very short ones and 2 long ones. Okay, so let's just get into the first one. The first one was called The Boy Who Predicted Earthquakes. This was about a boy who kind of just for some reason gets a TV show and talks about his life, what he's up to, but then suddenly starts making predictions. And at first we get a whole bit where the TV producer's saying, "You're fired for doing this, this is terrible." But then when the boy actually makes accurate predictions, it all turns around, doesn't it? Clint Howard was the boy. What do you think of this one?
It was kind of neat, but it didn't really have the punchy ending that I'm used to with these.
I think there was some good stuff in the episode. It was directed by John Badham, who went on to direct things like Saturday Night Fever. And it was reasonably stylish, but the stylish stuff kind of didn't work right at the end for me. It kind of felt more like padding than stylish. They were trying to put through this whole thing of the sun. Spoilers of the sun.
Spoilers of this, 50-year-old show. Yeah.
And basically he didn't want to go on one night, did he? And they kind of, the producer who loves him, who was the one who was wanting to first kick him out but now loves him, was sort of saying, "No, but so people will be really scared if you don't go on. They'll wonder what's up." And he decides to go on, and he tells everyone everything's going to be different tomorrow. Everything's going to be different from this point on. People are not. There's going to be no more wars and all this. And we find out he's like, he says, "I'm lying." Yeah. It's because there's going to be a supernova, and that's it. So it's a end of the world kind of thing. It's got that 70s sci-fi feel. There was some decent stuff in this. I think Clint Howard was actually the best thing in it, actually. What do you think?
Yeah. Clint Howard was the kid, right?
Yeah, he was the precocious kind of kid, but he wasn't obnoxious, was he? He was kind of he did it quite well. Clint Howard. Ron Howard's brother. Clint Howard. Yeah. Famous for being the weird little alien in that episode of Star Trek in the original series where a weird creature, like skeletal creature, was kind of baiting Captain Kirk, and it turned out to be like this guy, a dummy, and it was this little kid drinking, I can't remember the name of the juice, but it was Clint Howard as a little boy made up as an alien kind of thing. It was kind of fun. So I quite like this. I actually read the short story this was based on, and it's a lot punchier. The actual TV show starts earlier than the written story. The whole lead up to the producer carrying on, sort of threatening to fire people for doing this on. None of that's in the short story. It kind of starts lads midway through, where he's already got the show and he's made 106 accurate predictions in a row with none being wrong, and so he's got this record already. Whereas the TV version has this lead up, doesn't it, of all this fuss at the beginning, which I feel is padding. Actually, I think the Corolla story came in the second half, really. But I like this one. It wasn't my favourite story in this set of 4, but it was my second favourite, I'd say. Okay. There's one of them I liked a lot more than this, but this one was alright. I liked it. I thought it was okay. So not bad, right? Not bad.
No.
Any other thoughts?
Like I said, bad ending. Like it just sort of stops, as opposed to like how normally we get to see some sort of like weird, messed up moral, or something like that. But sometimes it's kind of just Rod Serling just stood there being like, "Wow, that was weird." Yeah,
Rod Serling, he kind of, he didn't have much. This was one he wrote, and and it was based on someone else's story, I believe. Short story by Margaret Sinclair. Not a bad short story, actually. As I say, it's pretty well written. And he's just extended it a bit. So that, I think, was his only involvement with the writing of this episode, actually. When you can kind of tell, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay, so the next one was Miss Lovecraft Sent Me. This was a short one, wasn't it? What do you think of this?
This was just bad.
Just bad.
Like, it was just not funny. It was like a weird sort of comedy, short.
But not funny.
But it just wasn't funny at all.
So basically, this young blonde girl knocks on the door of this old house, and the guy that answers it looks like a vampire. There's no getting around it. He just looks like a vampire. And they don't even sort of play it up as anything like, her thinking he's in fancy dress or something. She just kind of goes in. And he's saying, Junior's just upstairs. He can be a little difficult and all this. And then we see him kind of prodding the fire, and she notices a mirror and she can't see his reflection. And that doesn't bother her either.
No.
She's not fazed by that at all. So it just doesn't feel right, this whole screen. It's really weird. But then she starts looking at the library, and there's all these like weird satanic books and books about vampires and stuff like that. That starts to weird her out a little more than a guy who hasn't got a reflection. I don't really get it. It doesn't really make any sense. And as I say, it's Joe Campanella. Unfortunately, we have seen Joe Campanella before, and sorry, I should say this again. Joe Campanella is usually very solid and quite a good actor, but this is the second Night Gallery show story we've seen him in. The first one was the one about the giant rats on the moon, which was bad.
Oh, God.
So he kind of keeps getting stuck with bad ones. But apparently, by all accounts, he quite liked doing this. He thought it was fun, and his kids came on set, and it was kind of fun to camp it up as a vampire.
Yeah. I can imagine it was fun to make. It's just not that fun to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And in the end, he goes upstairs and he says, "Come on, Junior, let's get ready. Put your shoe on. Put your other shoe on. And put your other shoe on." And at that point, she gets spooked and runs away, right? And the title is Miss Lovecraft Sent Me. And the only reason for that is they wanted to invoke the name Lovecraft. That seems to be it, really.
It was really hokey.
Yeah, this was written by Jack Laird, who was a producer on the show. And apparently Rod Serling and him often butted heads over these goofy little short stories. And with this one, I can kind of see why, because it's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
This was possibly the worst story I think I remember. Other than the only saving grace is it's very short.
Yeah, it's literally like 2 minutes long. It's absurd how short this thing is.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the second. Third story was called The Hand of Borgus Weems, which is a weird name. This is one of these possessed hand stories. And we kind of find out why this hand is possessed. It belonged to a gangster who was possibly murdered, and he's trying to use this guy to get revenge. Man, what do you think of this one?
It was conceptually, it was quite metal. Like, it was really quite interesting. Just in the actual payoff, it was really boring because it's a lot of like the acting wasn't great. the writing wasn't that great. The camera work was wonky at best. Like it honestly, like I said this while we were watching it, it looks like an episode of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place,
It did.
which is specifically poking fun at stuff like this.
Yeah, so, man, it was just really badly put together. The camera shots were bad. The music was irritating. And just the whole edit and zoom and I don't know, it was just weird. It was just bad filmmaking. That's how it felt like the guy making it was kind of bored and just was trying out weird stuff. It reminded me of some of the worst excesses of Italian sort of giallo movies and crash zooms and I don't know. It was just annoying, wasn't it? I've read some reviews of this and some people like this one a lot and I can't see why. I just thought it was goofy.
Yeah, it's just a really silly one.
It's got Ray Milland, who's kind of a famous actor, as Dr. Yeah. You thought it was Dr. Abaddon, didn't you?
Yeah, because that's what it sounds like when he says it. So.
Yeah, but apparently it was Ravdon. Ravadon. But I thought it was Abaddon. Until I checked the credits after, I didn't know it wasn't anything other than that. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, right?
Nah.
This I actually like this even less than I liked the Miss Lovecraft thing, because at least the Miss Lovecraft thing was short, you know.
Yeah, this just kept going on and on. Like we start off with a near crash, and then you find out that the guy behind the crash wants his hand cut off because he thinks it's possessed.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the guy was. It started when he started seeing this woman, and then he killed like the woman's ex and almost killed the woman and then tried to crash a car into this random guy. Yeah. And the hand starts writing in Latin, which he can't do, and it just keeps going on and on.
No. There's a twist in the sound, but unfortunately conceptually, like you say, it was good, but execution was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Which kind of wrecked
this
it.
reminded me of an episode of Treehouse of Horror, I think it was, this episode of Simpsons, where Snake, the like gangster character, gets executed and Homer buys his hair.
Oh yeah.
And like gets it attached to his head, and Snake starts to like seep into Homer and almost kills Bart.
Yeah.
So
it was. I'd rather watch that than this. To be honest, okay. Which brings us to the last one, which is The Phantom of What Opera. This is Leslie Nielsen before he did comedy, but you know he was doing comedy here, and another lady, another actor, an actress whose name escapes me, Marianne Beck. In fact, she hasn't got a character, hasn't got a name, just credited as beautiful prisoner, Marianne Beck. And it's basically Phantom of the Opera, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is Phantom of the Opera.
Him taking the girl to his lair and saying, never pull my mask off, and then starting playing music. And there's also a comedy bit where he's got a candle and he tries to stub it out with his finger, or a candle lighter, and he won't want it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, that bit. But I really like this one. This was my favourite.
Yeah,
Did you like
this is
it?
By far the best.
By far the best. And we get a touch of Leslie Nielsen comedy in this before he was famous for doing stuff like Airplane and Naked Gun. I thought this was a really good segment. This really pulled it around for me. I really like this one. But it feels to me like season 2 is take a real step down compared to season 1. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I did do a bit of research, and apparently there are some pretty good episodes in season 2, so that's good to know, right? But it just felt like, oh man, this has fallen off the bus, really.
Yeah.
In many respects. I was just looking through the cast list, and I was kind of surprised because suddenly I saw Charles Lawton and Bela Lugosi on the cast list, and it's what? Oh yeah, and I just remembered that the film executive in the first story was actually watching The Island of Lost Souls, wasn't he?
Yeah.
For no reason other than they had the footage, I think, and they wanted to do something interesting. But it was kind of interesting to see that clip right in the middle of this. And it's quite an intense clip as well. I was quite surprised that they put it in the middle of this, and you know, which is mainstream telly, really. Quite a strong horror film, even though it's from the 30s. So 4 stories. What do you rate of the episode overall?
It was not really good because, like, as good as as Phantom of War Opera was, Boy Who Predicted Earthquakes was kind of boring. Miss Lovecraft Sent Me was short, but so, like, weirdly awful that it was boring. Yeah. And The Hand of Borg Swings was just bad.
It's just Garth Marenghi, like, right? Levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite a step down. I'm quite disappointed. I didn't expect Night Gallery to sort of fall off the bus like that. But, you know, I was still going to carry on watching. And apparently, as I say, there are some really good ones coming. Apparently, there's some Lovecraft adaptations coming, which is going to be very interesting.
Oh, that should be good.
Yes. So, yeah, okay, all right, we'll wind up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.
And one last question. Is anybody out there?
I'm not.
We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to